Small Talk with Sophie Bennett
and Sean Bell. Good morning and welcome to Small Talk. It's a comedy special today.
Yeah, we've got Marsha with us today. Hello, Marsha.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. Marsha Di Salvatore, the hostess with the mostess, comedian and organizer of Rome's Comedy Club.
Yeah, thanks.
Now, the reason you're here today, you've got a big show on Friday.
Yeah, May 31st is our last show of the season, and we're going to break for the summer, and we'll come back up. We'll start back up in October, so got to make it out for the last show.
So May the 31st in Rome, the Comedy Club. Where is the Comedy Club?
It's called the Comedy Cave. It's in Grotta Pinta, which is actually a cave, and
it is. I've been there.
It is. That's why we can't have the show in the summer. It'd be very, very hot. Anyway, so Grotta Pinta, which is near Campo di Fiori, and it's actually Via di Grotta Pinta, number 12.
Okay, so don't miss that. We'll be going.
Yes,
so
we'll be there.
Yay,
Yeah,
good. Sit up front so we can pick on going. You.
I don't like that idea.
Okay. No heckling, please.
So, Marsha, when did you start the Comedy Club?
I started with a friend of mine named Stephanie, who now has gone back to the UK about 4 years ago. We were doing English theater in Rome together. We did a monologue show with Gabby Ford. And we both were starting talking about how we needed English comedy, because you don't really get that in Rome on TV or anything.
Right.
So I thought, I've got some funny stories living here. I want to try it out. So we went to Abbey Pub, a pub in the center of Rome, and they let us have this really small room, and we started doing like an open mic night. So stand-up, improv, sketches, whatever anybody wanted to do on stage to make people laugh.
What's an open mic night?
So open mic night is really, it doesn't quite work so well here, but basically it's anyone who's in the audience that would like to get on stage and try out something in comedy. That quite doesn't work because you don't really know who's going to come out to your audience. So
in
Rome,
do.
and what they're going to do.
Yeah. Che facciamo un piccolo riassunto in italiano? Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, povera Silvia, sì, qualche volta
sì,
si mette quasi sempre è un'espressione un po' persa.
Ok, facciamo
quelli che
No,
stiamo
it's because she's
ascoltando.
just, blissing out
She's
on
just
coffee.
dreaming, she's dreaming. No, velocemente per quelli che stanno ascoltando è Radio Stella Civitavecchia, non è un programma inglese, stiamo parlando con Marsha Di Salvatore che è iniziato il Comedy Club a Roma e il prossimo venerdì 31 ci sarà l'ultimo della stagione. Poi se volete potete anche partecipare, c'è questo fatto dell'open mic, che l'udienza, qualsiasi persona dell'udienza può partecipare. Allora se pensi di avere qualche talento comico, venite e facci sentire.
In inglese. Siete italiani in inglese.
Yeah.
Purtroppo.
Are the comedians then, are they all expats or are there Italians as well?
We have some Roman comics that do their bit in English, of course, and then the rest are a mix of American and Brits.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, this is a fantastic opportunity for students who are always asking, when can I practice my English? When can I practice my listening? This is the best opportunity. Here you are.
Yeah, it's good practice. Depending on the level, though, because, comedy is really hard, I think, for, lower level.
That's true. So
also, I think there's a lot of cultural differences involved as well. What's funny in one culture is not necessarily funny in another.
That's true. We're lucky because we are a mix. We have a British comic, Michael Monkhouse, who is super dry.
Okay.
And then we'll have Kissy Dugan, who is she's American and she's a comic and full of energy and so there is definitely, and then you have the Romans and they tend to do more political satire and stuff like that. So but it's a nice mix. It works in the show. There's not you might think that one thing is funnier than another, but it kind of works.
Oh, I guess you don't have that problem, that cultural problem of Anglo-Saxon humour, Italian, because you've got both, haven't you, Marsha? You're a mix.
I'm Italian American. Yeah, so I do a lot of my jokes about, growing up with genitori calabresi living in and coming from Ohio. Lots of funny stories from that. So,
what kind of thing then? Yesterday you were talking about mortadella, yeah?
Yeah, going to school and you're like, I just want a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and I have a panino with mortadella, and kids are like, what's that? And it's like, it's an Italian meat product.
And they're going, oh, it's full of fat.
And you're like, I just.
You can imagine the opposite, can't you? You can imagine Civitavecchia, the kids going to school with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Like,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. But also lots of funny jokes about my parents speaking English. My first exposure to learning English was this mishmash of dialect and English in one sentence. Like, today sta piovendo. It's like it's raining outside, and half Calabrian, half English. So, and it's funny because clearly our family needed ESL, and now I teach ESL.
Okay. There's a reason in that.
Yeah.
So today we're talking to Marsha, and we're talking about funny ladies in general. So we've got music today from some very funny ladies. And first up we've got Bette Midler and a song called You're Moving Out Today.
We'll now have a brief intermission with 2 minutes and 56 seconds of pre-recorded music.
The state you were in. May I remind you that it's been a year since then. Today the landlady, she said to me,
what did she say?
Your loony friend just made a pass at me.
Slap him in the face.
Perhaps you might enjoy a cottage by the sea.
I hate to do it. I hate to do it. I hate to do it. I hate to do it.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. Pack up your dirty looks, your songs that have no hooks, your stacks of modern speed, your portrait of the queen, your mangy cat away, your baby fat away, your headed that away, you're moving out today. The reason I'm singing La La is because I'm so happy you're going. Gosh, you've made me miserable. I don't think I've ever been so unhappy as I've been this last year with you. You are really a dirty, dirty guy. Did anybody ever tell you that? Oh, by the way, would you take off that coat you're wearing? That's my coat you're wearing. Yes, thank you. Oh, goodbye.
The Divine Miss M, Bette Midler, You're Moving Out Today. Funny ladies, who are your role models, Marsha, for comedians? Who are the women that make you laugh?
I have to say, I really like Margaret Cho. She's very funny because she does a lot of, makes fun of her mom, being a Chinese American. I like Tina Fey. I think she's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, there's Yeah.
Have you read Tina Fey's book, Bossy Pants?
Yeah,
Hilarious.
I did. Oh, it was great. Yeah. And it was great to hear because, it's kind of hard to be a female comic. It's kind of a male-dominated world out there. And, she does talk about the struggles of how she made it. And it was much harder, I think, for women.
And how about for you?
Comics.
How did you find that?
I don't really find that. Because I've created my show. It's my show. So I don't know what it's like because it's not like I'm going out for movie roles or TV roles, but it definitely is like outside of Rome's Comedy Club. I even noticed in the Italian circuit, I've seen the guys that work in my show, like Francesco De Carlo. I go see their shows and they're all guys. They're all guys,
and the audience is
the audience is mixed.
Yeah,
totally mixed. But it's just all guys, and I'm like, where are the lady comics? But they were doing a show in San Lorenzo, and there was one female comic. That I was like, yay, finally! So I think it's pretty much male dominated here, of course.
How about in your lineup? What's the percentage?
My lineup is mixed. Me, Kissy, Virginia. Yeah, it is more men than women. Yikes! Yeah, three ladies.
You need a Quarta Rosa, maybe, in the comic world. Yes.
Sophie.
Silvia, you make it.
Dai, abbiamo bisogno di una comica romana.
Prossimo venerdì, che cosa fai? Vieni con noi.
Sì, battuta.
I think it's probably very difficult to get up on stage. How did it feel for the first time when you first put yourself out there and got on that stage?
It was really hard because, doing a little bit of theater, when you do a theater show, you're a character, so you kind of hide behind this character that you're playing, or you forget your lines, but maybe, your fellow actor will cut in and say the line or whatever. But when you're up on stage doing a stand-up piece and you don't remember something, it's just all you on that stage. But then the minute you get your first laugh, you're like, yeah! And you get this adrenaline rush, and then you want to keep going and getting more laughs. And it's like, it's a high after that. But then the worst part is when you don't have a good set. Then you want to just kill yourself because you can't hide, and then you leave, and audience are like, that was really good, and you're like, yeah, whatever. I suck.
We're talking comedy here on Small Talk. We're going into commercial now, but after the break we'll be back with Marcia Di Salvatore.
Radio Stella Città.
Funny, did you hear that? Funny, yeah, the guy said, honey, you're a funny girl. That's me, I just keep them in stitches, doubled in half. And though I may be all wrong for the guy, I'm good for a laugh. I guess it's not funny. Life is far from sunny when the laugh is over and the joke's on you. A girl ought to have a sense of humor. That's one thing you really need for sure when you're a funny girl. The fella said a funny girl. Funny. How it ain't so funny. Funny girl.
Oggi 500 cabrio e tu al prezzo di 500. Oggi 500 cabrio e tu al prezzo di 500.
Barbara Streisand there with some funny Italian woman screaming over the top of her at the end. Barbara Streisand and Funny Girl. Okay. Barbara Streisand, comedian, actress, singer, director.
Amazing. I
Yeah.
know.
And she looks
All in
fantastic
one.
as well.
She does.
How do
She
they
looks
do
very
it?
well.
How do
I
they
think
do
we
it, these actors?
know.
Did you see Sharon Stone as well?
She looks outrageously great.
She
but
does, isn't it? How does she do it?
I think we know.
Oh, yeah. She's cheating.
It's
I don't
a
care.
little
Barbara Streisand is a
sucking back and-
fantastic comedian. Have you seen like some of her films, like What's Up, Doc?
Yes.
The
she's
Owl and the
great.
Pussycat. Very, very funny woman.
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
she's great.
Yeah.
She's great.
We're here on Small Talk with Masha De Salvatore from Rome's Comedy Club, and we're talking comedy.
Yeah, funny.
Yeah.
So, what's the difference? I'm not going to tell a joke here. What's,
Come
What's
on.
the difference between?
I know.
what's the difference between Italian sense of humor, American sense of humor, and British sense of humor? Is there a difference?
Oh yes, totally. So I think American sense of humor. I think I use the example of like Seinfeld. You know, Seinfeld did 30-minute show on losing his car in a parking garage. You know, and it's hilarious because he takes that everyday situation that we've all gone through and made it funny, and you can relate to it, and it's just simple. You know, British humor, which I totally love. It's just. I love the TV shows. I love the comics. I really have a soft spot for the British comedy. But I think it's really very clever and really good at making fun of being awkward. You know, you'll see some of these shows, like one of my favorite shows is Peep Show, and like half the show you're just like, why did you do that? Oh my God, that's so embarrassing.
You're watching with your hands over your face,
and
through your fingers.
Exactly, and it's just so funny. Or The Office, you know, this weird boss, and he's, you know, we've all had that boss, and he's just awkward and tells really bad jokes, and you don't really know what to do.
Just
and
excruciating. Yeah.
right, Italian sense of humor, yeah, it's different. I mean, it's sort of slapstick, satire. Yeah, it's changing now. Like the guys in my show, they really have studied their stand-up comedians from the UK and the States, and so they're picking up that style of stand-up. So and it's showing in their Italian and English.
I guess there's also the traditional Roman comedians, aren't there? I suppose Alberto Sordi, and then I suppose Totò. Totò is not from Rome, but there's a traditional approach to comedy, isn't there?
It's
Massimo
cabaret.
Troisi.
It's cabaret style. It's silly slapstick, and it's great. Like Totò is fantastic. So is Alberto Sordi.
But do you think it is easy for somebody who's not Italian to understand Totò? Can you find it funny anyway?
I don't think so, because Totò does a lot of like, even his diet. I mean, he's Neapolitan. Like you first have to understand Napolitano, which is hard in itself. So I don't know.
Yeah, does it translate? I wonder. You know?
Some things I think you just can't.
I wondered about that. It's hard.
Or Alberto Sordi when he does Un Americano a Roma. You know, when he talks in that invented language. Like if you don't. He's making fun of like the way Americans sounded, you know, to Italians.
With Italians, it's very, very cultural, isn't it? Yeah. So I think either you what was
Sorry,
that?
what was that?
I know you're
Coffee.
sorry.
Coffee or a drink.
Yeah, I know.
Do you need a drink, Russia?
No drinks. It's too early for me.
Can we have another double vodka, please?
Yes.
Yeah, I think maybe you have to be either Italian or an English American person who lives in Italy and understands Italian culture to really appreciate that sense of humor. Yeah, which maybe is a little bit your kind of comedy too. I mean, it's very much based on that sort of cross-cultural material, Italian and Anglo-Saxon clashing of cultures.
Yes, and that's why I think in our audience, our show is for everyone, because the Italians will come, and a lot of us make fun of what it's like living in Rome, the frustrations of the post office, because they deal with it too, and so they can get it even though it's from a foreigner's point of view. So there's something for everyone, I think, in the show, but
Is your audience pretty mixed of sort of 50-50 Italians and expats?
I think it's more expats, but definitely a huge, there's a lot of Italians. I was written up in Corriere della Sera last year, and that completely opened the doors to lots of Italians, which is really exciting, because I never wanted a project that was just solely the expats living in Rome. I live in Rome. I want to share it with, it's just unfortunately that it's only in English, but, I don't want to limit people to be in the show or come to the show, and so since then has really opened the doors.
You have comedians in English and in Italian as well, or all in English?
It's all in English. All just in Italians that do it in English.
Okay,
now your Italian comics, you've seen them perform in English, you've seen them perform in Italian.
Yes.
Do they do the same material, or and is there a difference in their style when they do stand up in Italian or when they do stand up in English?
I'm thinking of Francesco De Carlo, because he's the one that's the most experienced, and he does both English and Italian. He does English great. He does. He'll switch it, and like I said, because he really has studied the stand up. He's got it down. So even when he does the stand up Italian, it's just like how you would hear it in English, but in Italian. He follows the sort of formula. It's not monologue style or cabaret style. So, they've kind of changed their way, becoming more stand-up.
Yeah. And most of your material, you're saying, is coming from stories from when you were you're from Ohio, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, in fact, you can hear the difference in the accent.
Yeah, you can hear this slight American accent. Just slow.
So when did you come to Rome?
I moved here 12 years ago. I lived a year in Perugia and then the rest of the time in Bella Roma.
Nice, great.
Yeah.
So a lot of your material then does also come from America,
living in Cincinnati, because that was, Cincinnati is not so exciting. And so being this sort of coming from Italian immigrant parents, growing up in Cincinnati, lots of funny stories there, friends coming over going, are your parents going to get a divorce? No. They're like, why are they yelling? No, that's just how they communicate in Calabria. So that's normal. So funny stories like that. And then, of course, funny stories living here as a foreigner, the frustrations. You have to, that's what I learned about living in Rome. To deal with it, you just got to laugh.
Okay, that's really philosophical.
It's true, because you just want to die when they're like, can you come back tomorrow at 2 and have this photocopy and this thing with the bolo and this and that. Then you come back and the window's closed and you got to go back another day. You're like,
yeah.
And you just just laugh about it.
Laugh. There you go.
Just laugh. That's how to keep your sanity.
Was that the motivation for starting the comedy club?
Pretty much.
This frustration.
Exactly. I think I had to get this out, and that's why I'm a better person from it.
We can see the halo.
Exactly.
Yeah. Can I touch that?
Yes. Oh, yes. I'll share it with
Santa
you.
Santa Masha.
Yeah. Oh God.
So, what can we expect on Friday if we come along to the show?
On Friday, I will be emceeing. Our lineup is the Michael Monkhouse, who is British. He can be offensive, so please be aware.
Okay.
I think you saw him.
Yeah, I saw him the last time I was there.
Kissy Dugan, American comic. She's amazing. And Ryan Costello he's from Boston. And a year ago, he came up to me. He's like, I want to give this a try. I was like, okay.
Wow.
He's amazing.
Wow, good
He's
for him.
a natural born comic, so it's amazing. That's why I love the show also, in that people are performing. And
great. Sean, are you going to give it a go
come
on Friday?
On. What do you got up your sleeve?
Sean.
Yes!
I could be persuaded with, I don't know,
You've got
a few drinks.
alcohol.
I know.
Large envelopes full of cash.
Yeah.
You have a very dry sense of humour, actually. That New Zealand sense of humour. We talked.
Is that a New Zealand sense of
humour?
humour?
New Zealand sense of humour.
Yeah, because we've talked about American.
Besides the Flight of the Conchords.
Well, I suppose that is probably the best example. That kind of sort of wacky, just a little bit out there, not kind of connecting with the mainstream, a bit naive.
Yeah.
I think that's why
Innocent.
the sort of the why the Flight of the Conchords and why that show setting it in New York works so brilliantly, because you've got these very sort of gauche, naive guys from New Zealand who don't know anything about the big city or showbiz, and put in this environment. I am sort of thinking back to when I was living there. There wasn't a very sort of strong sort of comedic strain in New Zealand. There were a few performers, Billy T. James. The humour sort of comes a lot from there's sort of Māori and Polynesian performers. Again, I think it's this kind of what you were talking about before, is I think where there's a kind of a conflict, where there's a clash, that's where you get the comedy. So these Māori and Pacific Island performers who sort of talking about that conflict between mainstream New Zealand society and their traditional Samoan or we were watching last night Summer Heights High, an Australian show, and one of the characters is Tongan, and it is about that sort of clash between mainstream Australian society and traditional Tongan society, Pacific Island society.
Yeah. Well, you're also great at one-liners as well, Sean. I will say that. Anyway,
we're into the news. Yes. Okay, into the news, and then we'll be back with more comedy.
Avete ascoltato Radio Stella, Città News.
To sleep well tonight. Let the world turn without
You're listening to Small Talk, and we are talking to a funny lady, Marcia Di Salvatore from Rome's Comedy Club. But that was another funny lady, Sandra Bernard, and Manic Superstar. Yeah, she's sort of taken Everything's All Right from Jesus Christ Superstar and put it together with Jimi Hendrix's Manic Depression. And you get a manic superstar.
Yeah.
A bit like you, really, Marcia.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're here with our manic superstar.
Very funny. Very funny.
Down. Seduta. Buona.
Allora, parliamo oggi di Rome's Comedy Club. Vai al sito Radio Stella Città, pagina di Facebook. Tu trovi informazioni del spettacolo questo venerdì alle 8, sì.
Sì, alle 8 apriamo le porte, diciamo, alle 9 inizia lo spettacolo. È importante venire un po' presto perché c'è sempre tanta gente, quindi per trovare un posto seduto è meglio venire prima. Insomma, però iniziamo alle 9. 7 euro di ingresso, Grotta Pinta.
E dove si trova Grotta Pinta?
Grotta Pinta sta dietro Campo di Fiori, che è via di Grotta Pinta 12.
Ok, benissimo queste cose, ma da quanto tempo che siete lì?
Ormai siamo, 4 anni quasi,
4 anni, vedi?
Nella grotta comica.
The Comedy Cave.
È veramente una grotta.
Cave
Sì.
Comunque è bellissimo queste occasioni per studenti che stanno chiedendo sempre per occasioni di fare pratica per l'inglese, per l'ascolto. È un modo molto divertente poi fare pratica, non è solito lezioni noiose di grammatica, di allora ascoltare il brano e rispondere domande. Invece ti diverti un po'.
Sì, e magari anche se non capiscono tutto, riescono a capire la maggior parte. Poi è una cosa divertente. Insomma, poi abbiamo anche comici italiani che si buttano con l'inglese a fare i loro pezzi in inglese, quindi sicuramente capiscono loro almeno.
Poi il palcoscenico è proprio accessibile a tutti quanti, chi vuole partecipare può anche buttarsi
se qualcuno ha un pezzo è
che
benvenuto.
Sì. Allora, stavamo parlando prima della storia di Masha che viene da Ohio con genitori calabresi e questa diciamo come si dice, congiunzione di culture diverse ha fatto uscire questo modo comico di vedere il mondo, è un modo di sopravvivere anche, senso di umorismo.
Certo, sì, no, avendo genitori calabresi in America è una città un po' sperduta come la mia, Cincinnati, che gli italiani fanno Cincinnati, Cincinnati è la stessa cosa, non c'è niente.
Come dicono in inglese, you gotta laugh.
I know you got to
laugh. Deve ridere, l'unica cosa da fare. E poi hai sofferto lì, e poi è venuta a Roma a soffrire anche qui questa
differenza di soffrire, sì.
Masochista.
Esatto, masochista, esatto.
Adesso devi soffrire tutte le idiosincrasie della vita romana.
È vero che sappiamo che non è molto facile.
Yeah. Anyway, plenty of material for sense of humour there. We're also talking about the difference between British sense of humour, American sense of humour, New Zealand sense of humour, and Italian sense of humour.
Yeah,
una mischia.
Sì, perché they're all different.
Yeah.
American humor, most people know, for example, Woody Allen. There's a show called Seinfeld, but I don't think that it's shown here. But, American sense of humor is about everyday life, simple, making fun of, losing your car in a parking garage or whatnot. British humor is more about feeling awkward or reserved.
Sarcasm as
very
well.
Sarcastic.
That social awkwardness, the sort of humor of embarrassment, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Laughing at people.
Yeah. Versus Italian, like you've seen, what are some of your favorite Italian comics?
Massimo Troisi.
Oh, very funny. Yeah.
Very dry. I liked him. Very subtle, sottile. Yeah. Alberto
Benigni.
Sordi, of course.
Benigni, of course. We forgot to talk about Benigni. Yeah.
Yeah. So So, what are the plans for the future?
So my plans for the future is we have one more show, May 31st. There could be a show in the summer, but that's kind of up in the air.
Would you come here?
Sure.
Would you come to Civitavecchia?
Yeah, but do you think there would be an audience? Civitavecchia people, if you would like Rome's Comedy Club, get on Facebook
Get on
now.
Facebook, let us know.
And write us.
Well, there's all the tourists here as well.
Yeah, but they come and go, right?
Yeah, but we've got to keep them here. We could kidnap them. We could wait at the port.
Yeah,
and
be like, you have to come watch the show.
Bundle them into trucks and things.
I love it. We're here.
Yeah.
Give me the date. We're here.
Bellissima
Gonna get my comics.
You could do Rome's Comedy Club by the sea.
I love it. I'm in, and I know my people would be in too. We're in.
Yeah, great idea.
No, I think this could something definitely be something you could move around. But
on the road,
traveling. Yeah, on the road. But yeah, something I have to do. Yeah,
another of the things you have to do.
Another one of my projects. My project at the moment that I'm working on is I'm working on my one-woman show. In collaboration with Kissy Dugan. It's going to be comedy.
Two-woman show, then.
It's two. She's helping writing. I'm going to be the solo and the acting part. So, yeah.
Great.
So, I'll be doing my one-woman show, and that should be in September.
Ok, allora one-woman show. Come si direbbe quello in italiano, Silvia? One-woman show.
Sì, one man show, one woman show.
One woman show, okay. It's September.
Yeah, it's September, and it's going to be in Italian and in English.
Okay, great. So you could bring that to Civitavecchia.
Yeah.
Do you know that many of the big performances do try out in Civitavecchia first at the theatre, don't they?
Really?
Sì. Tanti dei spettacoli prima di andare a Roma vengono prima al Teatro Traiano, Civitavecchia, giusto, Silvia? Allora sarebbe una...
magari posso venire qui.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Radio Stella Città.
Welcome back to Small Talk. I apologise for the slight interference before. That was Sophie eating her muesli. I tell her to have breakfast. I tell her to have breakfast before she comes to the radio station because, her stomach is rumbling. It interferes with the microphones. But, she never listens.
Era il mio cervello che stava bruciando.
Lunedì mattina.
That's right, sì, troppo. Insieme con caffeina, tutto...
So, we quickly went into Nicki Minaj and the Paul Keegan remix of Super Bass. You're a bit of a Minaj fan, aren't you, Marsha?
Minaj.
You like the Minaj?
Yeah, she's so entertaining.
She's mad. She's crazy.
She has this whole, invented vocabulary that she's... Yeah, she's great. And just even the way she dresses, she's wild.
Yeah. Do any of your comedians, do they use music?
No, that's
so it just
a
sort of
shame.
stand up. Yeah.
No, because when I was in Chicago a year ago, I went to go see a musical stand-up kind of comedy show, and it was so fun. It was sort of kind of improv as well, so they were improvising according to the tune that was played, and it was great. But no, we don't do that.
Sai chi usa musica? Billy Bragg. Not Billy Bragg, excuse me, he's the musician. Bill Bain. Bill Baines, what's his name? He's a British comedian. He's very good with music. Stand-up comedian again.
Yeah.
So it's a bit like Flight of the Conchords. Like they have music that they've written.
He improvises with music and sound, and he's very clever with it. Yeah, he's very good. A question, Marsha. Do you think that sense of humour changes? There are fashions in sense of humour. That there's been an evolution in sense of humour. Chiedo domanda se il senso di umorismo ha cambiato durante gli anni, che ci sono i mode, fashion senso di umorismo.
Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking now, like George Carlin, or even before him. No, sense of humor, I think, has changed according to what's going on at the moment.
Sì, forse collegato a quel contesto generale.
Political.
Sì.
What's happening.
I think you're always pushing the boundaries as well. I think comedy is always testing what an audience will accept. For example, I don't think, Sarah Silverman, 10 years ago, she would not have got on TV.
There you go. I forgot her. She's great. Yeah.
Che sta diventando più estremo anche, che si spinge sempre oltre, un po' tabù anche.
Yeah, the subjects that they talk about, the way that they talk about it.
Sì, il linguaggio che è utilizzato, accettato. Maybe cruder as well.
Cruder. I think the subject matter is always the same, because I'm just thinking off the top of my head, my favorites, like Eddie Izzard. What does he talk about a lot? A lot of political stuff, and that's like always the common political what's happening in the world today. But the styles have definitely changed. I mean, look at him. He dresses in drag.
Sì, infatti poi pensando anche del programma Little Britain, il programma televisivo in Inghilterra, che è stato molto estremo, sempre ridere le persone, ma l'immagine, quello che hanno fatto era più tabù di quello che hanno passato.
And that's mainstream now, you know. Little Britain is on BBC, so it's a mainstream success. It's not like something left field and on some small specialized channel. It's right there in mainstream television.
Another thing that has changed, un'altra cosa che è cambiata forse, guardando i comici stand-up comedians degli anni 70 in Inghilterra, erano molto razziste, per esempio, sessiste. Su questo forse c'è l'umorismo adesso è più politically correct anche. È scioccante veramente quando vedi i vecchi Les Dawson, per esempio, questi vecchi che erano sempre in televisione negli anni 70. Meno male questo è cambiato. So humor changes.
Yeah.
Ma in the cavemen, you say una grotta dei
Since we're grotta. Yeah, grotta pinta.
Quali battute? Io vorrei chiedere quali battute facevano l'uomo preistorico, no?
Yeah, who knows? Something about killing their buffalo, or I don't know.
Sicuramente non c'erano le file.
It was a hard day, yeah.
Non credo c'erano le file, no? Le file alla posta, per esempio, non esisteva. Allora le battute sul parcheggio alla posta
no, però forse della giungla.
Sì.
Funny cave paintings.
Funny cave paintings. Yeah, bargaining
the first cartoons,
issues.
The first comic strip.
Right. Yeah. That would be very interesting research, cave humor.
Cave humor.
How did it all start?
Yeah, one was the first joke, la prima battuta.
Yeah.
In the beginning was the joke.
Why did the pterodactyl cross the road?
Why?
Oh, get to the other side. No, there wasn't a road. They weren't invented yet.
Oh my gosh, Dad, Sean, you're out.
Veramente senza umorismo preistorico di Mr. Sean Bell.
Yes.
Get back
English humor. Well, actually,
I attempted it.
Sta provando, ma meglio che torni nella tua grotta, Sean.
Yeah.
Torni nella grotta, va? Back in your cave.
But Sophie, what kind of humor? Do you like comedy shows? Any favorite comedians? What do you think is funny?
Favorite comedy shows? Whew, now you've got me on the hop. Let me think. Little Britain was something that really made me laugh, but the American series I thought they went a bit silly. Maybe sono riuscita a produrre migliore materiale nei primi episodi di quello di Little Britain in England, quello americano di meno. Joan Rivers.
Oh, I forgot. Good one.
Yeah.
Joan Rivers is
very
great.
Funny, very dry.
She's very divisive, though. Some people absolutely can't stand Joan Rivers.
Yeah, I think a love-hate.
Yeah.
Because she's so in your face, so you have to... Yeah. There's no in-between with her. Yeah, she's great.
She can be very rude as well. Maladu Kanga.
And the English love her.
Yeah.
I just was watching this documentary, and she just her shows go crazy in the UK.
But, let me think, who else are there? Ricky Gervais.
He's the best.
From The Office. Again, very, very subtle. Come si dice subtle in Italian? Sottile, sì. Very dry, secco. Sean, he's one of my favourite comedians, actually.
Sometimes she just sits outside my house laughing. Laughing like a crazy person.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I look
that
out.
might not be
I look
good.
out. No, I look out the window. Sometimes she's sitting there out in the piazza,
that might be calling,
rocking back and forth.
That's called
like Michael Jackson used to do.
Tell me a joke, Sean. Tell me a joke. Io lo aspetto fuori la porta. Tell me a joke, Sean. Make me laugh.
Make me laugh. Entertain me. So sometimes I just what I do is I hang some old Christmas decorations out the window, and sort of the wind blows them around, and that entertains her for at least half an hour.
Wow, Sophie, you're so easy to entertain. You have a great time on Friday.
Are you making fun of me, Sean?
No,
Mi stai prendendo in giro, Sean?
No,
it's
just because I care.
Okay.
I care.
Okay.
Oh, look at that face.
Is it time for a song? That made me happy.
Could be time for a song.
Oh, what do we have up next?
We've got Peaches. Do you like Peaches?
I like Peaches.
Now, this is, Peaches pushes boundaries.
She sure does, yes.
This is from an album called Impeach My Bush.
Ooh, hello.
No comment.
I think she was referring to President Bush.
Yeah, of course.
But, with the possessive pronoun. So this is Peaches and Downtown. It's midday, which means goodbye from us here at Small Talk. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Marsha, for coming along.
The pleasure has been mine. Thank you so much.
No, the pleasure was all ours. Thank you for coming here and bringing a bit of joy to our Monday.
Oh, thanks.
So that's fun. Rome's Comedy Club this Friday. Get there for 8 o'clock. Grotto Pinta, Campo di Fiori.
Excellent.
We'll be there.
We'll be there.
Yeah. Yay. Great. Thank you so much for having me. Hope to see you all May 31st.
You're very welcome. And that's bye from us from Small Talk. We'll be back next week.
Cheerio. Small Talk, un programma in inglese. Ogni lunedì dalle 11 a mezzogiorno.
Small Talk, a program in English. Every Monday from 11 until midday.
With Sophie Bennett
and Sean Bell.